Hi, welcome back. Now, in this particular session, we'll discuss what is a table and what are the advantages of declaring a dataset a table over a normal dataset. A table, in simple terms, is a group of data. So, over here, it's a list of employees with their salaries and other details in front of them. It may also be a list of items in the stock at a supermarket and their quantities and prices mentioned. Now, for letting Excel know that your data set is a table, all you need to do is you need to go to that data set and you need to click on table. Now, before I do that, let me just make a copy of this data so that we can compare it with the normal data set, whatever we are doing over here. Okay, right. So I've got a list of 50 employees. I've got their names, surnames, their IDs, gender, email address, and salary. Now I want to declare the first dataset as table. So I go to insert, I click on table. It gives me a prompt where is the data for your table. And right now the range which it has identified is of this. So it is from A1, B1, and I'm selecting it. And I go all the way down till row 51. And because my first row has column names, so that is why this will remain as a checked box. My table has headers. So then I click on OK. Now as I scroll up, immediately the first thing which you will notice is that the format of the tables has changed and Excel has automatically given filters over here. Now let's look at the first benefit. What you may have noticed over here is that we had the home, insert, page layout, formulas, data, review and view groups, but the design group is new. This was not there in the earlier examples which we have done, because this is a conceptual tab which gets created whenever we use a tab or a pivot. So when I go on design, it gives me a ready-made table style. So there are different designs which I can use. You can see the colors changing as you move from one design to another. Let's say I want to select this design. So this is one of the benefits, that you don't need to format your dataset on your own. Over here in the normal dataset, there is no such design tab available. So I'll have to format the dataset on my own. Now let's say if I want to populate a formula, this is the annual salary. I want to divide it by the number of months per month. And as you clicked on per month, so basically you added an additional column. So it is very simple for you to change the table structure. Now, as you write a formula, all you need to do is, for calling a formula, you need to write equal to, you've got the salary over here, and you need to divide it by the number of months. As you can see, it automatically gets populated. But whereas in a normal data set, when you try in doing that, let's start off with adding an additional column. There is no change to the data structure as such. So is equal to this divided by 12. So one thing is that there is no automatic population of the entire data set over here. So you will have to manually copy and paste this formula for all of the 50 observations. So you'll have to do a control C, go all the way down and then select all the way up and then paste. Whereas over here it got automatically populated. So this is another advantage of having a table as compared to a data set. Okay, now let's go to the very end of this table and we click on total row. A new row gets added. Over here, this is right now giving me the sum of all the per month salaries. But what if I want to calculate the average? So basically this tells me the average salary across these 50 employees. At the same point of time, let's look at the overall salary and let's look at the average yearly salary. So this is 4581. So basically Excel is automatically giving you that option of calculating multiple variables. Over here, if I need to do that in a normal data set, I'll have to write the function on my own. So I'll have to call the average function, and then I'll have to select the entire data set. Though the results would be the same, but just that over here Excel is giving you that option. You can calculate other things also. You can count the number of observations. You can identify the maximum salary, minimum salary, standard deviation, variation, and you can call other functions as well. Now, as you have scrolled down, one thing you may not have noticed is that the column names over here, which were supposed to be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, they have now changed to the column headers which were there. So employee first name, surname, employee ID, gender. Whereas over here, that is not the case. When you click on first column, just notice the difference over here. So you don't need to highlight things on your own. Last column, then you can do a remove duplicate from here in the design tab itself. Now after this particular video, you'll have some exercises and documents to go through. Please do go through them and please feel free to reach out to us. Thanks.